This time I'll call the June 1st, 2023 meeting to order for the Dixon County Commission. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On our agenda, we have one item to add, and that would be for the executive session to discuss the land or contract.
Contract, attorney-client privilege.
Attorney-client, okay. And that'll be for 10 minutes. And so attorney-client and commission and Janelle. So we'll add that to the agenda for 10 minutes. And that's, other than that, I would move we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second it.
We have the motion, we have the second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The consent agenda includes the minutes of the May 25th meeting, also expenditures of $455,441.21, a security wire of $4,240, abatement of $2,386.66.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have the motion and the second for approval of the consent agenda. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Commission comments, Ron.
No comments.
Craig.
Yeah, yesterday I attended the KAC board meeting at the Greater Orland Station in Topeka. They've restored it. The county has now control of that. They've had it about 3 years. Gentleman, I got there early and the curator, or the gentleman in charge of it, gave a history of it and stuff. And the county took it over 3 years ago. Can't think of the exact name, it had it before, but they spent about $6 million renovating it. They have venues in there like wedding stuff, but it was a nice building. The acoustics we were at were terrible, but that's the way old buildings are. Some of the stuff we talked about was the Osage County clerk. They've last 18 months, they went through 3 and they're without a county clerk this time. So, and then the Cali County, Cali County, the sheriff is wanting to budget his own money for payroll and stuff. So that's some highlights of the meeting. Good talk about the legislative session that just ended. Jay Hall gave a good wrap up of it. We did go through the LVTR. It's could be a can of worms, so to speak. We've got the information. I can't remember exactly how much. About 1.2 million we've lost in the last 20 years.
Since 2006, I think.
Yeah. So, but it's, how do we want to approach it without making our legislatures mad? And most of them weren't there when they stopped funding it. But unless we get into a constitutional deal, they'll probably just make a law that, or pass a resolution or statute that gives them the authority not to, because that's what they've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be an issue that's coming up because as we know, the legislature, in my opinion, thinks the counties aren't handling their money well and want to try to hamstring us with the way we spend our money, but they don't want anybody telling them how they can spend theirs.
Well, and that is an instance when that took place. They had a real struggle with the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the way they balanced the budget. But as this has come up recent, many of the new legislators were not aware of it. And so it was kind of an introduction to them. But also they're in a situation where they do have some surplus monies. And so, this would be the time they could correct that, because it was money that we collected in the counties and the cities, and it was sent to Topeka, And it was part of a process where they would return it because it was earmarked and identified as belonging to the counties and the cities. So it's not just the Dixon County and other counties. The cities also had that money that they should be receiving back.
It was all sales tax. It wasn't any,
Well, it was a tax on
right, cigarettes.
liquor and
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Yeah, other taxes.
Mhm.
That's all I have.
Okay, earlier today, as part of our budget hearings, we met early at 8:30. We heard from the Dixon County Historical Society. We also heard from North Central Kansas Mental Health, OCCK, and then Dixon County Economic Development. And so we're gathering information, we're hearing their budget requests, we're receiving overviews financially of where they're at, but also the services that they provide to the county. And so that's all I would have. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next item. We do not have any proclamations or petitions. This would be opportunity if anyone would want to make a public comment on any item that is not on the agenda. This would be opportunity to do so. We do not have any public comments, and so we'll go ahead and move on to reports of county officers. Our county administrator, Janelle Dockendorf.
Commissioners, just to let you know, we did purchase diesel this week. Robson they came in at $2.89. Stat Brothers at $3.01, and MKC no bid. So we went with Robson with the low bid. PBX will be here this week. They're working on Highway 15, and since they're in the area, they decided to come up here. And if you remember, maybe not, back in August of 22, you approved a proposal for them to bridge deck seal, and the bid was in the amount of $116,558.85. So they're going to be putting the epoxy coating on 3 bridges, 3 locations, starting on June 5th, the 1500 block of Rain Road, then move to June 7th to the 2800 block of Fair Road, and then June 12th, Old 40 and Eden Road. The roads will be closed. We've got our electronic signs out, so the public has been made aware. And we believe that they'll be closed a minimum of 3 days at each location. So just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. Also, the bridge at 510 800 Avenue is now open. Not all the work has been completed, but it's open where people can pass over it. They'll still need to complete some dirt work and whatnot there. So that's a good thing. And then as we were in the study session, Michelle Drummer down in our appraiser's office has completed her RMA certification. That's residential mass appraisal. So, and that's a lot of work and classes on her part. So we just wanted to say congratulations to her. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Doug.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to notices and communications. There is the Dixon County Drug Court graduation that's coming up on Wednesday, June 14th. We also have an invitation from Major General John V. Meyer III. He's the commanding general at Fort Riley. And they are having a reopening ceremony for the 1st Infantry Division and U.S. Cavalry Museum. And the ceremony will take place Tuesday, the 13th of June, 10:30 in the morning. So they wrote this for the so people that are non-military that identify with the time. But anyway, this will take place at Fort Riley. And I believe that's, I received a couple of emails, and it was in regards to the sales tax issue and just wanting us to be aware that the state legislature also had a possible avenue of financing what some of our needs were through an application of if a committee would send some funds our way, but also was kind of the discussion. It's not an ironclad type thing. It's just one of the possibilities. Did anyone else receive any notices or communications they'd want to bring up at this time?
We might talk about this Saline County, one that they sent to Governor Kelly about their appreciation for vetoing the
Competition bill.
competition bill. I think I think we should probably mimic it. I think it was very important for our county to have that vetoed.
So the Senate Bill 8 at one time did not look like it would receive
Right.
much traction. And then at the end, it was bundled with some other things. And I think one of the things that this is a letter from Bob Vidrickson. He's chairman over at Saline County. But it was thanking Governor Kelly for her veto on that. And one of the things I think it points out is that sometimes there are good provisions in a bundle of policies, and it became a bundle type bill. And yet sometimes there's certain things that are not as desirable, and this would actually hurt counties or Dickinson County in particular, along with other counties. And so, and it was originally in Senate Bill 252 in the early part of the session. So that was one of those last minute end of the session bills that would have to be passed. I think, Janelle could craft a letter and then either we could all sign it or I could sign.
I'll get it ready
And I think
next week.
some of the information here kind of gives us a good outline of, I don't know if it has to, I think we could get it down to one page, but
Yeah.
Agreed.
any other comment or notices? Since we do not have any, the next item is the introduction or consideration of a resolution. And this is for the sales tax question. So Janelle, would you want to kind of give us the overview of what that involves and the purpose for it and also the timing involved with that?
Yes. So as you know, we have been working with the 911 Advisory Board and then also meeting with the legislature to request permission to put a question on the ballot seeking a 1/4-cent sales tax to fund two priorities that we've identified right now. The first is a radio communication system across the county. And that is a system that would be utilized by all of our responders. That would include fire, law enforcement, EMS, emergency management, and some local government. And that is to upgrade and access the state's 800 megahertz radio system. So we had to go to the legislature to seek permission. The governor approved that bill on May the 10th. And now we're before you is a question to add is a resolution to add that question to the ballot for the citizens. The other piece of this that we would also, I've also identified as a priority is the all hazardous response rescue trucks. And we've got two of those in the county, one in Abilene and one in Harrington, and they respond on rescue services. That includes any rescues that are inside the city limits, out on county roads and on state highways. Now, the 800 communication system, we're estimating that cost would be $3 million. And that would include equipment on two new tower sites identified in the county, one in Abilene and one in Harrington, to provide better coverage. Also, 350 mobile and portable radios for the responders, and then the annual maintenance for 5 years. We're also estimating the cost of the response trucks at about $1 million. And both of those systems, when we first set them up, were funded by federal dollars through either Homeland Security or through Homeland Security that funneled through the state. So, and those programs are no longer in place. And that's one of the reasons why we've decided to ask for a sales tax question. because then it would be a fair tax, if you will. It's not just paid by county residents. It's not property tax. It would be paid by anybody traveling through our county. So what we've identified is a date to add it to the ballot question on the general election on November 7th. And it would be the purpose to submit a question to the qualified electors of the county for a countywide retailer sales tax at 0.25 or a quarter cent for the purposes of financing the cost of public safety projects. And that's what this resolution would be. And it would be resolution 060123. They can sign this one.
So it'd be for a 1/4%.
Mhm.
It also has a sunset, which by law, 5 years.
Right.
So there is a sunset to it. And then I guess the other portion of that, which you alluded to, this is something we specifically need.
Correct.
And so there has to be a funding source for it regardless, and the sales tax
Different one. Yeah.
would work well on this, rather than property tax or
Yeah.
other sources.
Yes. Now, there was another resolution that you could discuss if you so choose to have a special ballot question for it, but I think
Well, and if it's at the regular election day of November 7th, there's no additional charge. It's just part of the ballot.
correct.
And if it's a special election, there would be the cost of holding a special election.
Exactly. And that cost, we're estimating it at between $32,000 and $40,000 to hold a special election for that. So,
Well, there's a couple ways to do it. It could be mail-in ballot, or it could be set up a location
mhm,
that could have some variables in there, but it's still expensive,
exactly, still an additional.
unneeded
cost.
expense.
Right. Now, also, I would add that if the sales tax question goes through, we are still looking for grant funding to help support this. So there's a possibility of some funding coming from the state. There's other grants through the federal government that we will continue to look for to help offset some of those costs. So we wouldn't have to rely on the sales tax completely for both of those identified priorities.
Other questions or comments from the commission?
I move we pass resolution 060123.
I'll go ahead and give the second on that we adopt this resolution. It's 060123. This is a resolution for the Board of County Commissioners of Dixon County to authorize a special 1/4% countywide retailer's sales tax for public safety improvements. This resolution also, basically what it does, it puts it on a ballot where the voters of Dixon County will decide the importance of this matter, and if this is the funding mechanism that would be used. Did that clarify or confuse? So, okay, so we've got the motion. Second, any other discussion or comment? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Me.
Okay, so we have 2 in favor, 1 opposed, and so it would pass. Okay, we do not have any unfinished business or other business. The next item we have is an executive session. That would be for 10 minutes. And
For attorney-client privilege.
attorney-client privilege. And we will start that at 11:21 for 10 minutes, executive session, attorney-client privilege. So that's my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have the motion and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At 11:21, we are going to start our executive session. I'll make the motion that we return from executive session to regular session.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're back to regular session. As a result of our executive session, attorney-client privilege, we were able to get some updated information that we needed. There's no official action to be taken at this time. There's no other business before the commission. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second it.
We have the motion and second to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.